great, like congrats. Sorry.
For the next 50 minutes. Together, we will get to know 3 outstanding startups and the innovative ways in which they use AI to solve real-world issues instead of just throwing around buzzwords. But first, we will hear more about what SAP has in store for the most promising young companies. Please welcome, with a big round of applause, Tino Albrecht, Director at SAP for Startups.
So, good afternoon. Does it work? Yes, now it works. Perfect. So, as in your favorite streaming platform, before you actually get to see the content, I'm going to go for the commercial block. And the good news for me is that actually the skip button is only coming up on my last slide. So, I can see it in your eyes. I mean, SAP, obviously, what you think is we are ugly, old-fashioned, and for corporates only. Who does agree with that? Okay, you're so polite. Normally, that's like 99%, right? So we are actually here to show you that we have the right platform, the right people, and of course, the passion to actually also accompany the new ones, the new economy, the digital startups, the digital native companies. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we have behind this buzzword, SAP for Startups. Like any big company, we have this program. And we've split it into 3 different columns, 3 different pillars. One, of course, serving startups as customers. The other, partnering with startups to actually embrace their technology into our solutions and into our processes. And the third one is, of course, we invest into startups. So we've quite a big track record in investing in startups with Sapphire Ventures. We have different investment vehicles that are going into this direction. Sapphire Ventures, to mention here, especially because ever since they have been focusing on SaaS and AI startups. So this is really when it comes to we want to invest into companies, and of course we do mergers and acquisitions and stuff like that in this investment block. The middle pillar, partnering with startups, of course, we won't solve any single business issue on this planet ourselves. I mean, we try to. We have a broad portfolio. But of course, in every single part of this portfolio, there's a niche that we won't solve. And thinking about AI, there's a bunch of startups out there that actually solve niche problems that need to be embedded into an end-to-end process, or that need to be embedded into a bigger software stack. And that's what we do in this pillar. And then maybe the least obvious one is that we have a big range of startups as customers. And I want to deep dive a little bit into that, because for us, it's really an imperative to secure the future of our company. I mean, we've been growing with the big corporates of today, with the mid-market companies of today. And of course, over the last 5 decades, we've been doing that quite successfully. But now, we need to actually also go into the next 50 years and also grow with the companies that are kind of changing the markets today. And for us, that's why we have built SAP for Startups. So what's in for them is actually, I mean, every single founder starts to build a product that is absolute fantastic, that is absolute unique. And there's a lot of accelerator programs. There's a lot of advice going on how to build the best product possible. But then when you have product market fit, what comes next? It's actually building the company behind the product. It's about building a business backbone. And that's what we have been successfully doing over the past few decades. And we have actually founded SAP for Startups to help companies to do exactly that. So while they stay focused on the product and they stay laser sharp on pivoting to the recent market changes and so on, we actually help them to build business processes that scale. And of course, you won't build like a corporate structure in the very beginning. So you can actually do that starting very lean in a Series A type of thing with small processes, and then you will actually grow and mature. Once you are hitting into the next markets, you've probably doubled your personnel size. Then the next thing is you actually scale into Series C, you go international, you really go 10x in your business, and you want to have the right process and the right capabilities to actually do that. And in the end, every single founder is either trying to get to an IPO or doing an exit, and of course you also need to prepare that, right? So what we can bring to the table is actually best practice processes for every single step, for every single phase of this maturity stage. We have developed a lot of startup references for different industries, so you can actually go step by step, and we know exactly what you need at which step. And we, of course, have a lot of knowledge in the team, having done these journeys before, and we can take you a little bit out of the pitfalls or warn you before the pitfalls that might happen. What we normally do is we start with kind of a speed date, and we just check if there's a cultural fit, if the timing is right, and then we take a few hours to one day to actually really map out the entire company journey and say, hey, this is the value chain end to end, this is where it should actually go to. And then from there we can derive architectures, we can derive a roadmap together, how the product, the actual product of the company and the business backbone hook into each other, and then build a unit that actually helps you to scale. When you think about the right timing, there's one point in time when it's the easiest to actually start that journey, and that's around product market fit. Doing that too early actually defocuses you from the product, so we don't recommend that. Doing it too late actually then inclines a lot of change management. And the earlier you start, the more employees will actually take the new business backbone as a given. So we recommend to actually do that around product market fit, Series A, latest Series B, to actually start building the company behind the product. When to choose SAP, it's obvious. If you stay in Germany, it's probably not the best fit. But if you really have ambitious growth targets, if you're going international, then we can help. And especially when you're working in regulated industries, we have a lot of knowledge that we can actually help you to deal with all the authorities and kind of maintain the compliance from day one. Just to give you a short overview, we can't unveil all the clients, but there's a big range of companies we are working with across the industry. In numbers, it's like 39 companies at the moment, 17 unicorns that were unicorns when we started the journey with them, or that became unicorns when we did that. We accompanied 5 IPOs, both in Frankfurt and at NASDAQ. And when you choose SAP, there's one advantage that I would highlight here is there's a huge network. There's a huge pool of employees that you can actually hire that have experience with our processes and with our technologies. There's a huge pool of freelancers that actually work with us, and there's of course a huge pool of partners that you can actually choose from. And in the end, you come to the community, and you are part of a big community with like-minded peers that exchange a lot of knowledge, a lot of experiences they did, and we foster that with community meetings, with of course a virtual community, and so on. So if you want to deep dive into that, we are at the SAP booth on this floor just to the left, and you can reach out to us anytime. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tino. Have a seat, please, over there. You've set the perfect tone for today's session. In just a few moments, our 3 startups will have 5 minutes each to convince you here in the audience, but also the jury that they deserve to win today's prize. €2,000 sponsored by SAP and a 1-year Bitkom membership. Tino, you look a bit lonely up here. Should we bring out the rest of our amazing jury? Please welcome with a big round of applause Laura Möller, Director of K.I.E.Z, Berlin's Artificial Intelligence Entrepreneurship Center, and Professor Dr. Alexander Löser, Professor of Data Science at the Berliner Hochschule für Technik. Make yourselves at home. Now, without further ado, let's jump right into our first pitch. Our first startup brings order into companies' chaotic data. Maximilian, please join me on stage. Ready when you are.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Max, and very happy to present Scavenger AI to you today in this very nice format. The problem that we're solving with Scavenger is one that I personally had in my own corporate life. I'm sure most of you know it too. We now validated with actually more than 300 companies that all tell us that on the one hand, they have tons of quantitative data available in different databases, like your ERP system, the CRM system, the SQL Server of production. On the other hand, they're lacking the time, they're lacking the resources, and sometimes also the technical knowledge on how to convert that into insights or do the kind of analysis they would like to do. Which then often ends in the companies building some sort of dashboard, which on the first hand is actually great, but also there you need some sort of expert who knows how to build it, who knows how to code it, who knows how to maintain it. And at the end of the day, you also would love to have the employees, and luckily in German because it's from real users, who have more questions than are getting solved on the dashboards, that are then going back to the experts and ask again, hey, can you please give me this list, can you do this analysis, or could we also visualize this graph? Which, in very short, was the reason why we founded Scavenger back in the day, which works as a company's own AI data team and actually does data analysis and gives answers to the company's business problems within seconds. The cool thing for the users is that all of this works super easily. In the first step, you need to connect, or with the help of our data engineers, can easily connect your database. And in the first step, our AI automatically maps as some sort of the semantic logic behind it, and with the help of our users, maps also the business logic into the tool. You can imagine this as the AI wants to get some sort of human-level understanding of the database. So in easy language, that means the AI describes every column, every row, all the tables and the relations to each other, what it means. In the end, build some sort of huge AI navigation system that can later on pinpoint information. Once this is done and set up, you can already roll that out to all the users inside the company, and they can ask the questions they would normally ask to the experts. Like, for example, which of my customers or products are actually driving the profitability, and what does this mean for my strategy? From a user perspective, that's actually all they need to do. In the backend, the question gets then combined with the navigation system that we saw before. The AI writes code like a data scientist would, and executes the code, and in the next step displays it back to the users into the next thing that they see, being an answer to the business problem that they asked before. Which always comes out in 4 parts. First one is a table, so you can again download it in Excel if you want to work further with it. Gets out as a graph if you want to use it for dashboarding, if you want to put it in your PowerPoint. You also have the business recommendations, and we also very transparently show you the code so you know how did I actually arrive at the results that I see here. We had the first idea of this product back in late 2023, early 2024, when we founded the company, got some really cool pilot partners doing that with us. We then pretty quickly raised our first pre-seed round for 1.1 million. We heads down building the product, launched it actually this year into the market for the first time, got some really cool traction on it, now raised our seed round for 2.5 million, and have a pretty cool waiting list with companies that we're now onboarding one by one, actually. And off to the most important thing. The most important thing for us was that it's not only actually a nice tool in our head, but it's already in use with our customers and is actually creating value for them. So first, we have a use case in sales with a manufacturing SME, where their sales team, consisting of 40 people, first only had access to the customer data via Excel or via the help of the IT, which means that a lot of opportunities were missed and there were 0 to no insights into customer behavior or trends. With Scavenger now in place, everyone receives daily recommendations, and actually questions to your data or the database get answered in less than 5 seconds. Similarly, another use case here in controlling, where it took normally 2 weeks to actually just obtain the data that was needed to take decisions, which meant that then in the end, decisions were mostly only taken in a reactive way. With us in place now, we were able to increase the revenue there by 17% actually, and also saved 15% of time of the analyst and up to 40% of time of the single salespeople. And lastly, we have the team that's currently executing this vision, which is on the one hand Felix and me as the 2 co-founders. Then with us on board, we have Martin, very experienced software developer from the US, who actually had his first tech IPO back in the 2000s together with Mark Cuban, then worked in consulting, and lastly, as head of AI engineering at a venture builder where we met him, Thomas, who is leading our sales team, who also exited his own startup as a CEO and now has more than 30 years of experience in B2B sales. And also very happy as a board member, we have Alex, who was former managing director of Facebook in Europe and the CMO of Lufthansa. Thank you very much. We always say plenty of data, but no clue. Scavenger it.
So much. Thank you so much, Maximilian. Now we'd love to hear what the jury is thinking. What do you want to know more about Scavenger AI?
Hi, thank you so much for the presentation. Very well on point. I have one question, because your customers are pretty much all over the place, which makes sense because they're all working with data and they all do have obviously problems in retrieving the information that they need in a timely manner. Are there some clusters that you're seeing or use cases that are basically solved again and again with your solution? And is there any possibility for benchmarking so that we can basically lift the whole industry in working better?
Yes, for sure. So basically the logos, it's kind of a bit historical. In the beginning, we focused on big enterprises, which was also nice for the logos. Now we have a heavy focus on manufacturing SMEs, because we see that there the pain is the biggest and actually our solution delivers the most value. And in those manufacturing SMEs, we heavily focus on controlling or sales controlling.
I like very much that you focus on those areas like finance and controlling. There exist quite a few benchmarks already for the text-to-SQL task. Do you have numbers?
We do have numbers. Happy to share that afterwards. I personally don't know them now.
Okay,
by heart.
cool.
Saying that you have manufacturing SMEs, I mean, it's probably the most conservative industry in Germany. Since having been working also for SAP in the SME space, normally they are very afraid of getting rid of their data, or exposing their data.
Yeah.
So how you deal with that?
So it's definitely a thing, and like it's the first thing we're getting asked, and we also placed a lot of value on data security and privacy there. First thing we always tell is that like we basically get certified and audited pretty regularly, which then we can just send. And another very nice thing is that basically our tool doesn't know the raw data. It just knows the system behind it. It just writes code, sends it to the company's database, and only extracts the result. So our tool actually does not, or an AI has never access to the actual raw data of the company, which is very important for them.
Thank you all very much. If there are no further questions?
I usually do have more questions.
Sure.
I think that I would really love to maybe learn a bit more about the next steps that you would need to take team-wise, and also maybe on the back of that, how you would go international and how you're planning to scale your go-to-market.
Definitely. So the first thing that we're planning on now, and what we're seeing is we heavily focus on building some sort of digital clone of the kind of company, because we see on the one hand, we learn the users' problems and their questions, the challenges they have. On the other hand, we're learning more and more the more data the tool gets. So not only sales, but also maybe the production, so like the whole controlling thing. What we can see then in the end, you have a tool that knows the data better than every employee, and it knows the challenges of a company, where we can basically give the tool that, and then in the end, the tool can run overnight thousands of questions, and in the morning provide you with a solution to a problem you might not even be aware of. And we think that this is the way of going. First, we want to become, we always say, the European player in this space, the European BI agent, and later on, obviously expand in this way of thinking BI in a new way.
Yeah, I think so too.
Sorry, time is up. Thank you very much, Max. Thank you very much, Alexander and the jury.
Thank you.
And just one quick note for transparency. Scavenger is currently part of Laura's accelerator program, so her evaluation for this startup won't be counted towards the final decision, just to make sure everything stays fair and unbiased. We will now continue with today's second startup. koup AI turns simple text into powerful AI agents. So please, with a warm applause, welcome Lukas. Join me on stage.
Thank you. So the world is demanding AI agents, but building them is quite complex. So what if AI agents could build themselves? My name is Lukas. I'm the co-founder of koup AI. My team and I, we have a combined experience of more than 40 years in heavy automation projects at large enterprises like Amazon, like Porsche, Volkswagen, or also UPS and Walmart. We also built several startups in the Silicon Valley, here in Germany, as well as in Italy. The number one question that customers ask us in the past 18 months is, how can AI help our business to become more efficient? And the answer could be easy. For example, you could use a chat AI tool like ChatGPT, and probably most of you already do. And it's definitely a great help and an efficiency booster. Currently, we are in the phase where we see a lot of verticals solving several problems, like, for example, in human resources, in legal, in marketing, also in special market segments. And all of that is definitely helping companies a lot. But the biggest boost will be what we call AI employees or AI agents, which are little helpers for every employee at every workspace. This is the next big thing, and it will also, it will definitely, So this is the next big thing. It will grow from 8 billion today to over 50 billion in the future, in the next 5 years, and this is what we count on. We believe that an AI agent has to help every employee in their daily routine. The problem is, however, how do you develop and how do you scale these kind of AI agents? The small and medium-sized businesses, their lack of financial resources, technical resources, they have a hard time to compete with the large enterprises. So we think building AI agents has to completely rethink. And that is what we do at koup AI. We want to build the easiest way to build AI agents and AI employees. And we're doing that by offering a platform where the user thinks of a task that should be automated and the rest is done by the platform. It's easy as that. Besides that, we offer already 400 integrations so that there is no obstacle to integrate the IT tools that an employee uses. And we want to make sure that the process of building an AI agent doesn't cost anything. Today, it's multiple weeks project costing maybe thousands of dollars or $10,000 of dollars. We think it should be a matter of seconds costing nothing. And here's how it works. So the employee has an idea. For example, I want to have the agent store incoming orders into an, let's say, SAP system. So what koup does, they automatically set up an agent and the agent starts running. The whole process is just a matter of seconds, maybe 5 to 10 seconds, and the agent is set up and working. Of course, you can refine it. Of course, you can go back and forth with the agent, but the general way is set it up and you're done. We make it very simple for the users to start. We, of course, offer a lot of ready-to-use employees, AI employees from different fields like marketing, HR, accounting, etc., with proven use cases. For example, in marketing, create content and post it to the social networks every day. Or if you are in HR, screen the incoming applications, rank them, and give me a summary every day. Something like that. It works across all the tools that the users use, and it's very simple to start with. And of course, you can build any kind of AI employee that you want yourself. Just go ahead, give it a name, and it starts running. We are pre-launch, but we already signed more than 25 customers for the pilot phase. We identified a lot of use cases with them, so every customer has at least 3 use cases. Each use case or a task that can be automated saves them more than 5 hours per week. So it's a highly scalable product. And we also noted during the past 6 months that it's super industry agnostic. So it fits for every industry. We can serve all the customers, whether they are from manufacturing, from healthcare, from legal. It doesn't really matter for us because we have a general solution that works in the way the customer wants to have it. Last but not least, we are currently raising the pre-seed round. Our primary market is the US, where we want to expand operations. Europe is second. We have to make the application ready for the European market, meaning data compliant. And of course, we want to expand into business teams applications. That is what we do right now. And yeah, right on time. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Lukas, for the pitch. Alexander, I had to cut you off in the first round, so maybe you want to start with another question.
Yeah, first of all, that's a great idea, and I think Germany has to catch up here. From the US, you have some competitors like Crew.ai, or also in Germany, DeepSet, Haystack, and also Langchain, of course. There are a few more. For me, if I would be VC, I would be interested in the number of tech people in your company versus non-tech people. Can you give numbers?
Yeah, since we are pre-launch, we have just our founding team. It's 3 of us. So it's me taking the commercial part, CEO, and the other 2 co-founders are technical, 1 CDO and 1 VP of engineering. Okay. And of course, when the next people we're going to hire are software engineers, maybe the next 5 people, then we probably go into the US and have the first sales rep. But right now, it's very technical, and that's of course important to develop the product.
I make the round, but I have a second question if there's time.
Thank you so much. I have 2 questions also. Maybe starting with the quality assurance questions. Is how can you make sure that the agent basically does answer correctly, and how are you thinking about feedback loops, and how you're making sure that you're not building some rogue employee that is basically always giving the wrong type of advice? And then maybe the second one related to that, once you have that, is there a marketplace kind of idea building also the business or the business model further?
Okay, regarding the first question, I think that's the most important question technically. We have put the most effort into building a deterministic building agent. I have to say, technically we have 2 agents, 1 building agent and 1 execution agent. But to be deterministic and always execute the same kind of task, that's the hard part. You know, AI has hallucinating, and you always get a different kind of response when you, for example, ask for a poem. But in our case, we cannot afford this. We have to make sure that there is always the same level of quality. That was the hard part, and why it took us several months to get to this point. Of course, there will be feedback loops. Of course, you have test runs that you can do before the agent becomes really active. And that is something we still have to include, and it's not done yet, but this is on our agenda. Regarding the second question, right now you think of this AI employees or the platform that we offer like a tool, like for example N8N or Make.com or Zapier, and that is true. But we don't consider ourselves as a tool. We want to build an ecosystem, and that could be much more. We already have our first partnership with a software company that wants to use our technology through an API to implement it into their software suite, which is great for us because we can reach much more clients. So there's a lot of room for that. Yesterday I talked to a potential client. He said, can I use it as a white label solution in order to roll it out? It was a recruiter to my customers. And there are so many ideas. I mean, our vision is there. We are here, first steps first. But yeah, there is a lot of room, of course.
I'm really sorry. We run on a pretty tight schedule today. Thank you so much, Lukas. Thank you so much, jury.
Thank you.
And so far, we're well on time. And that's why we jump to the third and last startup of the day. CyberTide is offering data protection for the AI age. Raafat, please join me on stage.
Hello, everyone. I'm Raafat, co-founder and CEO of CyberTide. We are a Berlin-based startup. We help businesses in regulated industries to protect most valuable assets, their data. So according to IBM, $4.9 million is the average cost of data breach. But many people are not aware that 60% the root cause of these data breaches is actually due to insiders. Humans make mistakes all the time, human errors, insider meaning employees, contractors, third-party vendors, which is have access to the inside data of the organizations. This is an example of a GDPR fine happened to Austrian Institute, and they paid like €4 million, and the reason is a simple mistake by an employee who just accidentally upload an Excel file, has a personal records, share it to the wrong recipients, and they got this fine. So this is, of course, financial issue, but there is, of course, reputational damage and legal issues related to this. So that's an example of accidental things could happen, but there is also aspect of intentional things. So data theft is an issue with departing angry employees. They could take some data with them. This is an example of a case happened in Switzerland with Credit Suisse. There are nowadays, I mean, making this problem even bigger, we live in a world surrounded by many cloud services, online services, and 80% of data actually sitting on these services. And the recent, like with the introduction of ChatGPT, there is like, according to study, 57% of employees, they are putting sensitive data into ChatGPT. I don't know if you've heard about this Copilot very recent thing. So there was like an attack with a 0-click. So attacker sent an email to an inbox of an employee inside a company, and without any click, he ordered Copilot to summarize some internal documents and send it back to an email to the attacker. So it was like, of course, Microsoft tried to recover it immediately, but you can imagine nowadays making the problem even really bigger when have this with a single prompt, you can get like so much sensitive information from inside. There are existing solutions in the market from legacy, big players, American players, and mostly, but the problem is like 60% of these tools, they really generate, 60% of the alerts from these tools are generating like false positives, meaning that so much work for the security teams to take care of. And the additional thing, when we talk to security leaders, they told us like the really complexity of the existing solutions, making the problem even bigger. It takes on average more than 6 months to roll out a system, which is for an enterprise like or a financial services, which make it also very complex to use. So this is an example of existing solution. This is Google. They have a solution. They sell it to enterprise. And here I'm sharing you only the accuracy of detection on a PII, which is personal identifiable information. This is a system sold for enterprises in Germany. And the accuracy on European languages like German is really like, you can see that how many false positives. Usually this American solution, they build it like on English, of course, by default. But when it comes to European languages, it's really like far from being useful. So here we come, CyberTide. We are a self-hosted data security platform. So it's on-prem. We use small language model, very customized for only these narrow use cases, where we sit as a layer between the users and the employees and the outside services, being email, SharePoint, Google ecosystem, Google Drive, OneDrive, Copilot, generative AI tools like ChatGPT. So we really protect it all on the cloud, on-premise, on file shares, on the browser. So we have a full platform to do that. When we scan the data, we use AI. As I said, it's self-hosted. We never use anything externally. And it's very, very accurate on European languages. This is one of the big differentiator for us. And it's really very easy to use. We have a full integration with Microsoft enterprise licenses and the whole suite that usually companies they have. This is an example of a comparison on European languages. We are really 2.5 more accurate on European languages, more than Google sensitive data trait. And that also goes to Microsoft solution as well. We have a unified platform, give the users, so to give them really full control and visibility of all the sensitive data, wherever it sits. It's on the cloud, on the prem. They have a one-flow platform to see all what it is for the data security and protection teams. In terms of traction, we are a very young Berliner company. We founded last year. We already working with the top-tier regulated industries, financial services, and also in, healthcare companies, but also for the defense sector. We are a registered partner of Swiss Army. We secured 1.3 million. We are backed by, I have to run, by also Helmholtz Center, an investment bank Berlin.
Thank you very much, Raafat. Sorry, the time is up.
We are a good team. So.
One last time, I'm handing over to the jury for your questions.
Sorry, I didn't make it.
Yeah, maybe the obvious question first that you were about to come to. Tell us a little bit more about your team.
Yes. So we are like a really complementary skill. So myself, I'm the founder and CEO. I'm a data scientist. I spent 20 years in the machine learning space. I worked for Amazon in the global data science team, but mostly also I was the teacher, teaching machine learning for many professionals here in Germany and in France. My colleague, he's a cybersecurity guru, so I'm the machine learning guy. He's a cyber Alex. He saw the frustration with the tools. Who was working with big like Mercedes, Deloitte. So he has seen these legacy American systems, how really when they deploy it here in Europe, the false positive level. And also, we have, like, now we are 7 people, so we're growing the team, but that was the founding team. So we have also Kevin, he's so much experience in the product management team as well.
You are in a cold start situation, of course, right? Which basically means that you start with a small language model, and later on you need to adapt this language model to very specific patterns that probably did not come up to your mind when training that language model.
Yes.
So how do you cope with that cold start situation? How do you get into the market? What is your business strategy? Is this something like free model, or how do you scale very huge and get a huge variance of data back?
Yes. So you will be surprised because I think we crawled all the public data sets available. We have the largest data set for privacy in Europe. Like, we really have a lot. You will be surprised how much public data available, even for this topic, but of course, it's not stuff. So this is already give you, like, to showcase that is really working. There are data. It's just you need to know how to squeeze it from there. The second thing, we have a stage with the clients where we work enterprise, let's say a bank. We are working like a bank. So it's on-premise again, so they don't have this fear that, oh, we're going to share this data. We are done. And we are ISO certified. This is also a milestone that give them also, we have a credibility with them. So they don't worry about, so we can learn from the data that they have. So to make really very edge cases, let's say they have a specific accounts that they only have it, it's not there. So we learn it, it's like a fine-tuning on their data. But the make our life easy is, as I said, it's really on their stuff. They don't send anything. And this small language model is the cheapest GPU you need available in the market. So also that resonates quite a lot with them. So, yeah.
I'm honestly, after having heard as a VC for quite a while that we want to get people off from on-premise and basically in the cloud, I'm a bit wondering if this is kind of the way to go, or if you're just trying to get them from where they are at the moment, but still planning to go, obviously, into a more kind of like scalable future setting.
Yeah, it's a very good question. So usually, like NVIDIA, they say on-prem is cool again. Jensen, the CEO of NVIDIA. So my opinion, like in this European, because I spent like my entire career in the data, really data is something competitive. Like, we give it to more, like they monetize our data. So data is sovereignty. You need to keep it inside. That's some stuff. So, and when I say in-prem, that also, it's a self-hosted system. We run it on their private cloud. But you should not trust us. You should not trust anyone of using your data. If they have an Azure and they have a contract enterprise level where data residency is here, where they have, so this is like then it's on their private cloud. That's the number one thing. The second thing is really is very important, which is we see this. Actually, I forgot the point. Yeah. So the second thing is the customer we are working with, which is the reality, the banking sector. 60% of all their data still on the prem. I don't know if you know. The healthcare, the same. We are working with the largest hospital group in Luxembourg. And I could tell you, like, I was really surprised how much they are still, they don't trust the cloud. Even for the whole last 10 years wave, they didn't move, like the whole critical data. So we look where our customers, the customer like it, so we follow them. So
thank you very much.
Please build the trust so that they move into the cloud eventually.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Raafat, stay up here with me. The audience, it's now up to the jury. Stay here with me, Raafat, for a second. It's now up to the jury to decide who will win today's competition, a decision that I'm quite happy not having to make. The members will retreat backstage now for their consultation. We will see them again in 7 minutes. And while the jury is busy, we have the chance to get a glimpse into what's on our founders' minds right now. So please, not that yet, please, Max and Lukas, join us back here on stage. Max, maybe we start with you. How did it feel to stand here today and pitch your idea to this audience and also to the jury?
Boy, yeah, honestly, really nice. I think it's always really cool to get the stage. I think it's the visibility that the startups most need, and to get it here is absolutely great. So very happy, yeah.
Cool. Lukas, in just a few moments, we will know the result. What would winning here today mean for you?
I mean, since we are very early stage, it would be definitely, let's say, a confirmation for us. It would definitely be a recognition of what we have accomplished so far. And I mean, all that we already could participate in this means a lot to us. And I think maybe all of us has deserved it. Let's see who will be the winner. Yeah.
Raafat, you already had the chance to visit this summit for the last 2 days. How did it feel like for you? Did you have good conversations here?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having us. So that's appreciated. So it's definitely, it was like really very, very interesting. So it was a good choice to join this event. So we have very, very interesting discussions with potential prospects, because this is like a dance of people who's really interested only in AI. So usually you have these mega events where they really like have more kind of widespread, but here is more focused. So they know what they were looking for, which is, yeah, it was great for us.
Cool. A few of you touched upon it already, but I would like to know, who would you like to reach out to you? Who would you like to link with? Who are the connections you're looking forward to at the moment?
So for us personally, we are always happy. I mean, in case you like the solution, no matter who you are, happy to talk. But in general, we are having a very hard focus at the moment on SMEs, and especially there in the sales and operations / controlling overlap department. So if that's a problem, an obstacle for you at the moment, happy to talk afterwards or whenever.
Yeah, primarily we are looking for pilot customers who are willing to give it a try to check out if that's a solution for them. And secondly, if there's anybody in the audience who wants to participate in the round, sign a ticket for our pre-seed, then please reach out.
Yeah, so for us, like really we're looking for partners, like corporate partners who helping us to open doors in the enterprise sector, in the regulated industry. So happy, it's a win-win. So we can show like really very innovative use case. So we can help also you to win more clients. So
cool. We still have a few minutes, and this waiting might be the hardest part about the pitch today. Tell me a bit more. What's going through your mind right now?
I mean, I don't know. I think like you don't build a startup to win at pitch competitions, but when you do a pitch competition, you want to win it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's just an opportunity to get feedback. That's why I'm here. If that also gives a little bit of publicity, fine. I think it's a great environment here. But for now, I'm thankful to be here.
Yeah, I mean, as said, like he said, it's another confirmation that we are like doing something like useful and has an impact. So definitely being here also, this is a sign. But not being like the finalists, or being here, this is already a win. So
yeah. How important is this sparring also with the experts in the jury, the questions you receive from them? How does it really help to improve your products?
I mean, definitely the question was like to the point. So someone like feels they studied the use cases. So that was like, of course, very interesting. So yeah, I mean, all the questions makes a lot of sense. And all of them, they have domain expertise. I mean, the professor is a data science expert, and Tino also is like also doing 20 years in the space. So that means they know what they are talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, same for us. These were not normal questions. I mean, we see that they are experts, and we had these questions before, but it's always good to understand that they dived into the product, into the solution, and came up with good questions, right? And yeah, I mean, if somebody challenged us, that makes a lot of sense. If you want to just say how great we are, that's also fine, but that doesn't help us a lot, except if you want to give some money. But no, honestly, the more we get challenged, the better we will be. Yeah.
Anything you would like to add?
No, for sure. I think it's super helpful. I mean, you're so close to your product, to what you think about what your company is, that it's sometimes difficult to bring it in like a 5-minute narrative, and then getting the feedback, I would say, shapes this narrative a lot. So that's very helpful.
And I think, if I understood the sign correctly, the jury has come to a decision. Oh. We had great startups here on stage today. I see the flowers coming in. That really showed us how innovative AI solutions can solve the problems we have. And yeah, let's bring back the jury here on stage. Big round of applause, everyone. Tino, you as the jury head, I hand over to you. How was the discussion backstage?
Well, I think you can summarize it with photo finish, right? So 3, 2, 1, who's the winner? So obviously it's a very tough decision because, I mean, it's 5 minutes. You can't ask all the questions that were occurring in our heads. You cut it off really, really hard. So this made the decision extremely difficult. In the end, we had to choose one, although we thought everybody deserves it. And we made the decision for, do you want to announce it, Laura?
The honors is yours, I thought. So we figured that we would love to hand this big check to CyberTide.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much to all the startups.
Thanks a lot, yeah.
So I
is
think
like a good...
in the end, really, as I said, a photo
I think
finish.
we're gonna
okay.
take a few. Join us in.
So all of the... yeah, okay. Like this. Thank you so much. Thanks. Again, or...
So really a good problem that we all see to solve. What we would give as a feedback is that we would actually, from this 5-minute pitch, we would recommend to work a little bit on the go-to-market and also on talking to the C-level suite, because I mean tech, it's very obvious with all of us being tech persons, but we can see that this problem is more a business problem, and then the C-suite obviously needs to buy in because in the end they have the fear that their data is gone somewhere.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your pitches. Thank you so much for your expertise. And thank all of you for your attention here. We have one last point on the agenda, which is the closing by Professor Dr. Ralf Wintergerst. Thank you so much, and see you next year.